Hello everybody and welcome to this tutorial, how to custom design furniture with LiDAR and AR with Shapr3D. In this demonstration, I will show you how we can scan an interior space with the free 3D scanning app using the built-in LiDAR scanner, use the scan as a blueprint to model over, and then preview our design via AR. If you do not have an iPad or iPhone with a LiDAR scanner, you can use the supplied scan or simply take measurements by hand. As always, this session is filled with many interesting sketching and modeling tips and tricks. And now let's get started. Here in the 3D scan software, I will show you now how we can digitize this wall so we can design a new entrance table over it. You see, the wall is also very empty. And to help with tracking, to prevent any drift, I added few sticky notes. They add visual features to the wall. We can get a little bit closer. The closer you are, the more precise the scan will be. So maybe here. Lower resolution will be fine. Let's press the scan button. And with a nice and smooth motion, we scan upwards. That's it. Let's preview it in shaded mode. Very good. Press start to process the scan with the HD setting. We will get a more precise model display. As you can see now, it is more detailed. Let's share it as STL. I will save it to a folder on the iPad. Give it a good name. And now we can open this in Shapr3D. Before we get started, in Shapr, we would like to make sure our units are set to centimeters and all our snapping options are turned on. In the scanning software, I scanned with metric. So in Shapr, I can go to Import, File, and then import this as a model in meter. And this basically brings in the scan 1-to-1. This will take a moment. And there we are. Very good. So we can open the overview. I will select the object I only want and then move the selection out, swipe and delete. We can see that the object is rotated. So we can select it, rotate it 90 degrees. Very good. Then let's get it closer to the Z-axis and put it on the ground. Let's take a look at the top. This is slightly rotated. So I will move my 3D widget to there. Make sure that the widget is not snapping onto any mesh, because then the widget will kind of like rotate a little bit. And then we do one last adjustment. Looks like 1.25. Okay, very good. The widget is still a little bit rotated. So what I do very often, I deselect the object, select it again, reposition my widget, and then move this to where it should be. Let's go to a side view. Okay, that's good. Last adjustment from the front. What I would like to make sure is that the mirror is kind of centered in my scene. Very good. So I also positioned this wall right along kind of like the Z and Y plane, because for the augmented reality, for the positioning, you want your objects to be modeled inside the world center, because the world center is what's being put onto the wall. So if your object is a little bit away, it will be presented with this offset. Very good. Cool. So Now we can zoom in a little bit. And to prevent any issues like sketches being rotated, I draw these sketches without seeing the mesh. I can turn the mesh back on and now basically use the scan as a reference visually. Very good. So I will do a double tap, select horizontal vertical, and then very quickly snap my corner points to where I would like them to be. I will make this 90. Very good. This should be 10. And the height, that should be 81. Very good. So this line, as you can see, was just only a small helper. I can delete it now. This we can extrude out 30 centimeters. And now we can turn back on the mesh and take a look. How does this feel? So you can see that the scan is actually quite useful because it helps me to actually preview the geometry and the proportions with the architectural scan as a reference. That's why I call the scan a blueprint. Let's quickly finish this design. We want to add more details. We will do a shell of 2 centimeters. I will select this line, and top view, project onto the grid. There now I have these 2 lines. Very good. And I just created a nice area where basically this table would sit on. For the concept model, we also would like to have a little bit of more like left and right structure. Let me show you a very quick way how we can do this. The model I share with you has actually a concept and a more refined design. So feel free to study each. I will focus on the concept model here because of the time we only have. Let's extrude this up 2 centimeters. Very good. So this is a kind of very well working little trick. First, because I work with clean 1 centimeter steps. Now the object is 90 centimeter wide. I drew this cube on the grid. So even when I now adjust this, I don't really pay attention to the measurement. I just snap it to the grid. It makes things really, really easy. Double tap, make a copy, move this one up. Very good. Turn actually copy off. And now how many centimeters do we would like this to go down? -5. Good. How do we do the piece there in between? Also very easy. Double tap, copy, rotate. Then now I can go ahead and select this object, translate, and move this corner to there. Very nice. I can select this and move this down and via the grid snapping make it snap. Or alternatively, I can select also this face, translate, and translate the face to this edge. And you see this is going to be moved now. Very nice. Double tap, copy, bring this over. There we are. Very nice. We would like to have some crossbars. Probably we can use those. Make a copy, rotate, and position this. There we are. Double tap, copy, bring this over. Good. And then double tap, double tap, double tap. And we can make a copy and move it over, or mirror, and then go to the left view, tap on the grid. See, it creates actually this, uh, this mirroring plane. Bring this over, very nice. And then we bring this down. Cool. Now our design is actually very dense, so it will make sense to select all this, clean this up. And there we are. It's always a very good tip at one point to start naming your objects so they're nice and clean. So when we go back to our design at one point and have to navigate a lot of objects, it's just very, very easy to see. Very good. I would like to show you one little extra tip for the pipes on the frames. Actually, really amazing how easy this is. We'll make a copy of this and then move this back. And then we can call this frame concept. Hide this. And then this we will call frame detailed, for example. Very good. So double tap, double tap, double tap, double tap, and delete this. Very nice. So I would like actually to change how these square stock elements would connect. Look at this. I select the face, select an edge, and just rotate it. Now I can do the same here. And the rotation of the face is actually more sliding the face. That is how easy we can miter this. This is much easier to model actually as a cube. And then later we add the mitering to it. Just this as a little shortcut and tip. Cool. Very nice. So you and you, I want to actually also delete because there's another element I would like to show you. This one I will move down 5. So if this actually should be steel, we might want to document this also. So I select all these faces, shell. Let's give this a 5mm thick. Oh, this is way too thin. Sorry, thick. 2mm is fine. Very good. So you, again, because nice grids, we just moved it back. Here we do a copy and rotate. Perfect. Delete these two. So you saw actually with this process, it was very easy to make a dummy to study and then bring over, or not bring over, make a refined copy. And there we are. That's it. Now this is something we could bring into AR and then preview on the wall. Here is now the final design, which I would like to preview in augmented reality. So let's go to Export and select the AR option and Preview 3D model. The software will analyze the scene and auto position rotate the model. The model is a little misaligned. We can rotate it with two fingers and with one finger move it back to the wall. There it is. How cool is it to design furniture this way? The really nice part about modeling with AR is that we can preview designs interactively inside interior spaces. So here I created just a very basic storage design. It has some spaces to put objects inside and on top. Now I would like to preview this on the wall. Let's go to Export and select AR. There is the piece. The tracker analyzes the scene, auto rotates it, and the object is put on the ground. Remember the blue marker? With a finger, I can now move the object to different walls and also up and down. And the blue marker helps me with the correct height. Very nice. Maybe the piece is too wide. Let's go back to Shaper and adjust the width. I would like to remove 6 to 12 centimeters on each side. Make it on purpose more narrow. Now let's put it back onto the wall. Reposition it. And now I can evaluate if the piece is now too small or actually better. I can also explore the height position, move it lower, move it higher. And that is the beauty of modeling with AR.